Today, as we continue making our way through the book of Esther, we will continue to witness the providence of God being played out in extraordinary ways. Now, the series is entitled For Such a Time as This. Today we're going to be reading from Esther 6 verses 4 through 9, and the focus of our study is going to be upon this topic, make him famous. Think about that as we read the scripture together. The king asked, "Who is in the court?" Now Haman was just entering the outer court of the palace to ask the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows he had prepared for him. The king's attendants answered him, "Haman is there standing in the court." "Have him enter," the king ordered. Haman entered, and the king asked him, "What should be done for the man the king wants to honor?" Well, Haman thought to himself, "Who is it the king would want to honor more than me?" Haman told the king, "For the man the king wants to honor, have them bring a royal garment that the king himself has worn, and a horse the king himself has ridden, which has a royal diadem on its head. Put the garment and the horse under the charge of one of the king's most noble officials. Have them clothe the man the king wants to honor, parade him around on the horse through the city square, and proclaim before him, 'This is what is done for the man the king wants to honor.'" Now, as we move in today's passage, we will discover Haman once again providing us with an example of how not to think and live. Amid this, we will also see another example of God's providence. See, Haman has arrived in the court of the king first thing in the morning. But I want you to remember back. In our previous study, this morning is the pre-dawn to the night that the king was coming off of a sleepless, perhaps even restless night. But Haman was on a mission. He was determined to gain permission from the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had erected. But before Haman could even make his request known, the king called him into his chamber and asked him a somewhat cryptic question. What should be done for the man the king wants to honor? Being the prideful egotist that he was, Haman could only see himself as the one the king desired to honor. So he suggested the reward for which he personally most longed, and that was to be made famous before all the people. You know, it's interesting that being famous is the number one goal of preteens today, according to a recent study. That study revealed that being famous had catapulted from 16th place all the way to first place. It had leapfrogged over long-standing life goals such as having a family, working a good job, living in community. The researchers had connected this cataclysmic shift in values to the proliferation of these fame-based reality television shows and social media platforms. Sadly, as we see in Haman, even adults are not immune to the lure of fame. It is evident that Haman didn't need more wealth, so that was not his request. In fact, he undoubtedly enjoyed all of the luxury afforded to his position in the royal Persian court. He also didn't ask for more power or authority. I mean, he was already second only to the king. The one thing that he had yet to attain is the thing that he requested. And that was the honor of wearing the king's own robe and riding the king's own horse in his own one-man parade through the kingdom. Ultimately, Haman wanted to be a partaker in the king's prestige. Nothing mattered to Haman more than all-out fame and admiration. Haman's desire for personal fame lured him into making a request that would very soon come back to seriously haunt him. Think about this. The widespread use and abuse of social media today has created this culture of celebrity. On the various platforms, an individual can actually catapult themselves, at least in their own mind, to sudden fame by simply garnering the attention of the rest of us. But there is a serious downside to all of this as well. While attempting to create great fame, serious misfortune can be right around the corner. The pride that comes with fame can create situations that inevitably end with disastrous results. Think about your own relationship with social media and fame. Are you allowing yourself to become so engrossed in the attention that you are setting yourself up for potential disaster? Let me warn you. Let me encourage you. Whatever it may be, learn to guard your heart and to give God first place in your life. Be careful of pride. Be careful of allowing pride to become a part of who you are. Keep God in the forefront of your decisions and your planning and your life as you move forward through this life. Until next time.